This is Ayin Thropos reporting live for You Don't Know. You don't know, huh? So don't act like you do, because then something bad might happen to you. Reporting live on this July 4th, 2021. Reporting live from Sweetwater, Texas. It's not really important what I'm doing here. The festivities will be much later this evening, once the cover of darkness descends and they can begin to pop their celebratory fireworks. This Okay, sorry about the delay there. So anyway, let me start off by saying that it is up to you to be the arbiter of your ultimate reality, of your truth. Now, does that mean if you like something and you decide that it's true, that makes it a reality? No, it doesn't. You've got to discover these realities for yourself, and you also must discover what is true and what the facts are. Recently, someone refuted what I said on one of my Facebook posts when I was talking about actually several topics, but one of them, which is a particularly unpopular topic that I discuss, and that is the reality of the Ahrimanic doppelgangers, and no one wants to hear it. Let me tell you, that's the hardest sell you can imagine. But to quote Rudolf Steiner in one of his lectures for the workers at Dornoch back in probably, 1917 or something like that, he says in these words, or at least the first part of the sentence, "It is just a fact that at this time at this point in the evolution of the conditions of human consciousness, the human soul is not big enough to fill up the human constitution. Therefore, there's room left over. And as we all know, nature abhors a vacuum, and so what fills this space right before you're born and leaves right before you die are not one but two entities. That's right, the Mephistophalean Dopplegangers. You got it. And so these entities, which are not corporeal, they reside in a sublime way within your corporeal body, or in the vicinity, if you want to call that. They're extra-dimensional parasites, is what they are. Somewhere, who really knows where they're from? Somewhere from the depths of the cosmos, I would imagine. And that's all we can do as far as wanting to know where they're from, is just imagine these things. But we know for a fact that they're real, and they come into the human being right before birth, and they leave right before death. One of the most interesting things that Steiner relates is that these entities would just love to hang around and party after you're dead, but they cannot suffer death. They cannot handle death. So they've got to basically get somewhere. I guess they get in line to possess the next human being. I don't know if there's a waiting period, that they have a waiting period between, if you want to call it life, these type of existences that they have. we're told that the human being, there's a time in between your life after death and before your next birth. There's a time there that has to be observed. It may be different for different people, and if I understand it correctly, Rudolf Steiner indicates that I think it's 1,500 years. Now, I could be wrong about that. I guess maybe he could be wrong about that, but I doubt it. Rudolf Steiner is pretty right about everything. That's one thing that a lot of people don't like about Steiner too much, especially because not all of his truths, all of the facts that he relates, are necessarily convenient, nor are they necessarily glamorous, or just downright, some of them are downright unlikable. Case in point, the Mephistophalean Dopplegangers. I mean, you show me on this earth any gurus, any self-proclaimed ascended master, or anyone who's got it all together, they're, gonna life coach or something like that, tell you how to live. Show me one of these human beings that will admit A, the existence of the Mephistophalean Doppelgangers, and B, that they themselves are host for two of them. Because let me tell you something, folks, a very inconvenient, unglamorous fact, and just a downright ugly truth. Any human being, man, woman, or child, on the planet Earth today, with the exception of none, any human being who draws their next breath is host to not one but two of these doppelgangers. And Rudolf Steiner calls one the Luciferic doppelganger and the other one the Ahrimanic doppelganger. And as we know from the teachings of Steiner, Ahriman and Lucifer are in many ways diametrically opposed. Not necessarily that they're fighting one another, but these are entities that are referred to in the Bible. Lucifer is mentioned, I think, maybe once or twice in the Bible. And almost all other references in the Bible, when they use the name Satan, they are in fact speaking about Lord Ahriman, who's mostly known from the Zoroastrian religion, of which Freddie Mercury from the mega group Queen was raised in that religion. His parents were devout Zoroastrians, and he was basically raised, for the most part, either I think in India for a while, or that's where they're actually from, and that's where the Zoroastrian religion is from. But also, I think they were in Africa, or he was sent away to a boys' school in Africa that was a boys' school exclusively for Indian boys, I guess from some particular part of the country, probably, maybe, I don't know where his dealings with Christianity were, but I don't think this school was a Christian school. I could be wrong about that. Don't quote me on that. Speaking of Freddie Mercury, he was killed, or his death was ordered by the world weapons dealer. He's basically, I can't remember his name right now, but he's basically probably the only weapons dealer you have ever heard of in your life if you watch the news. Zwig, anyway, if I was to say his name right now, you'd probably recognize it in the recesses of your mind. And of course, this man has since been assassinated himself. Freddie Mercury did not die of AIDS. The whatever chronic disease he died of was given to him artificially. He was assassinated. And the onset of the disease was very rapid. I mean, it's like he got the disease, whatever it was, and then died 2 weeks later. I mean, that's exaggerating it a little bit. It was, it didn't kill him in 2 weeks, but it killed him pretty damn fast. And it killed him faster, a lot faster than what AIDS does, or the HIV virus, or whatever they want to call it, which is a weaponized virus. It is a weapon. It supposedly was intended initially to be used against homosexuals and African Americans, or maybe Africans of all types, black people basically. It's purported that some of this stuff was even put in a edible form and put in Coke cans and stuff in the ghettos in Harlem, and also in gay neighborhoods and stuff like that. So there was a eugenics effort or something like that, whereas they were trying to target blacks and homosexuals. And of course, this is nothing new. I don't think Hitler targeted blacks and homosexuals. He definitely targeted homosexuals, but not blacks. There weren't any blacks in Germany. But I think the first group that Hitler went after was actually gypsies. Don't quote me on that either. But and Hitler was not, he was atheistic supposedly, or he was going for this German nationalism type of religion, bringing about the old, Germanic and Teutonic gods, so to speak, or glorifying them, while at the same time, using empirical science, and not just empirical science, but a different kind of science than we use today, that is not as watered down as the type of science we use today, because obviously they were messing with scalar fields, scalar weaponry, disc crafts. I'm not sure how successful they were with the disc crafts, but if you ask some people, there's a Fourth Reich surviving to this day, and that has control of disc technology. And when Admiral Byrd went to the fact-finding mission to Antarctica, he was repelled by small fleets of basically UFOs, which absolutely just pulverized his forces. It was the most decisive and humiliating defeat, supposedly, that the American military has ever suffered. Probably the main reason why you've never heard of this, or maybe you have, Operation High Jump, the story. Admiral Byrd goes to the South Pole and, encounters Nazis or whatever, encounters fertile lands, temperate, perfect lands somewhere inside the quote-unquote Antarctica, which is on the South Pole, if you believe in that kind of thing. What promulgated this, or brought this about, was his trip a few years earlier to the North Pole, where if you believe the myth, or the story has it, the narrative, let's just call it that, he went up there with some military forces, supposedly on a expeditionary peaceful mission, something like that, but we know it was really a clandestine military affair. And Admiral Byrd himself, we were told, went solo in one of these specially equipped cold weather airplanes, a prop airplane, and was forced down by force fields and forced to land and brought into a grand, palace, and met with other humans, of kind of bizarre humans, and except regular humans just like us, supposedly, except maybe they live longer. I don't know. You don't know how much of this stuff to believe. But anyway, that led to the eventual Operation High Jump in Antarctica, in which the American Navy suffered a humiliating humiliating defeat at the hands of the Fourth Reich and their damned UFOs. Anyway, I have recently corroborated, or I downloaded the book The Pale Horse, or let's see, by Bill William. Oh gosh, I can't, anyway, my memory's kind of getting me right now. Behold a Pale Horse by Bill. I don't know. He's one of the greatest conspiracy theorists of all time, supposedly. Bill or William. Anyway, I'll think of his name here in a minute. But he is basically, in many ways, the father of the modern, quote-unquote, conspiracy theory genre, in that he was a conspiracy theorist, you know, and and we don't know how much of a controlled asset he may have been, you know, whether he knew it or not. Some of these people go off script, you know, and I'm not even saying he went off script. It may have been engineered that way to where looked like he was supposed to go off script. Cooper, William Cooper, Mr. Bill Cooper, the kind of in-your-face, some would say arrogant conspiracy theorist who revealed all these things because he was a secretary or you know, he's had some kind of, I'm not going to say a menial job, but he was right there in the office where all this information was coming through. Well, why did he get to look at it? He was of no import, no big time rank or anything like that. So was he just a guy that was in the right place at the right time, the wrong guy, or was it kind of the setup to leak, quote unquote, leak a ton of information? One thing does seem to be true is he got in a big fight, so to speak, with the government, and I think they wanted some taxes from the IRS as a weapon that's often used to, you know, rein people in, so to speak, to rein them in with, you know, charges of tax evasion or something like this. And he wouldn't go to any of the summons or any of the hearings, and he refused to report to court, knowing that they would issue a warrant for his arrest. And they tried several times to serve that arrest warrant, but it was just too dicey. He was out there in the country on his land out in the country, a known gun owner, and he had basically come to the point where, through his animosity and everything, more or less said he was not going to be taken alive. He was not going to be taken alive. So, you know, did he pick a fight with the government or did he not? I don't know. I mean, it's your call. You got to make that call. But yes, William Cooper, credited with being the greatest conspiracy theorist, supposedly, of all time. You know, I'm not saying that's true, but he's been called that, and you know, enough people have called him that where it's a known thing. Okay, so William Cooper has the distinction of being, now I don't know how many conspiracy theorists have accused my great uncle, my father's uncle, the late congressional leader, congressional representative George Mahon. I do not know how many conspiracy theorists have, you know, accused him of anything. But I do know that one has, and that's William Cooper. And William Cooper has accused my great uncle of being the man who started the dumb bases, the deep underground military bases, and these are bases purported to be joint military / alien, quote unquote, alien bases, whatever that means. Okay. Also, in William Cooper's book, he produces the documents for a chair subcommittee meeting of great import, in which supposedly the invention or production of AIDS was discussed. And it gives the notes of what people said. In other words, there's like a script written, this guy said this guy said that. And my great uncle did not say anything at that meeting, or at least nothing that's recorded for posterity. However, he was the chairman of the meeting. So it's kind of looks bad, you know, that when your great uncle has, you know, been accused by other people, not Bill Cooper, but has been accused by some of being in there with the cabal and the group of people who decided to invent or create AIDS or HIV. Now, AIDS was created at, or should I say discovered at, I mean, what's the difference? AIDS was discovered by the same guy who created it, okay? Isn't that convenient? And he was a contractor, a doctor, scientist, working at Litton Laboratories. That's Litton, Litton. Yes, you remember the old microwaves we used to have, the manufacturer of microwaves, Litton Microwaves, was also a defense contractor for the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and they were, what they made was biochemical weapons. That was the business that they were in. And so they had biochemical type doctors and stuff working for them, and the excuse is always given, oh, we're trying to, you know, cut the enemy off at the nuts. Or, you know, if we didn't invent it, somebody else would. You know, we've got to have the preemptive strike and all that bullshit. Same thing with this damn COVID, you know, there's, oh, well, you know, we had to invent it because otherwise the bad guys would have invented it and wiped us out with it. Oh, yeah, right. That old excuse. So anyway, it is what it is, okay? It's, what are my feelings about the fact that my great uncle controlled every dime of the United States defense budget for over 40 years. And I'm talking about the American military, the most overpowering, all-consuming, irresistible force, military force that's been seen in this world, at least probably, I don't know, maybe since the dawn of time. I don't know, at least since the last reset. That's for sure. Because the American military is an irresistible force. It is just a force. Let me tell you, this, you know, there's a supposed band of ragheads, whatever you want to call them, terrorists or something like this, running around, I think, in Syria and different places like this. I can't tell you what they're called, they call them on the news, because that would be profaning a holy name. But I can call you what President Bush, President George W. Bush, and also President Barack Obama called them. It's interesting that they had that didn't seem to have too much in common, except they never could say the name of the Egyptian goddess that everyone else calls this group, for obvious reasons. They're heavily into the occult. I myself cannot mention that name, that holy name, in connection with this band of, you know, bandits who are not at all what they appear. But what Bush calls them and what Barack Obama calls them is ISIL. ISIL. And what they wouldn't call them, and I also won't call them, is ISIS. So you know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. So anyway, you know, I'm not saying that they don't have some Middle Eastern, you know, crazy guys in their outfit, but let me tell you, you can't be in ISIL unless you've been a VIP at Guantanamo and undergone extreme heavy-duty mind control. I mean, that's just a known fact. You know, Guantanamo is a mind control center where they produce operatives that will operate without a conscience and will rape, pillage, destroy, rob, steal, lie, cheat, kill as many people as possible for whatever, for the people who control them, who are, essentially rogue, elements of rogue or intelligence agencies that have gone rogue. These intelligence agencies, I don't think anyone would say that these intelligence agencies serve the American public or serve the good of the American public. I just don't think anyone's gonna say that. And we all know they don't. What most people don't know, and so we know the treason and the really bad stuff or we know some of it, what they do, the NSA and all this. But what most people don't know is, and most people know that, like, say, for instance, you're not going to pick on the CIA, but just they're, someone that comes up every so often. So, we're all familiar with the CIA, right? CIA, okay, Central Intelligence Agency. We know that they're trained, depending on what the agent's special agent is, their qualifications are or their talents are, will depend on the type of training that they receive. Well, but we know that they all receive training in, handguns, also probably a variety of different weapons, pretty extensive weapons training, and then also assuming, fingerprinting and stuff. I mean, back in the day, I don't know if they even I just don't know, crime scene investigation, stuff like this. What most people don't know is that many of them, if not most of them, are also trained in what your average person on the street, maybe even your average listener of my show, would call Satanism. Satanism, wherein is basically, I'm not calling ceremonial magic Satanism. I'm just saying your average, quote unquote, fundamental Christian would definitely call it Satanism. And, most ceremonial magicians actually probably laugh at the idea of Satan. They don't believe in a personalized devil or anything like this. So, and it's fascinating, because many people in the secret societies, especially your Western Hermetic orders, fraternal orders, of which most secret societies in the West are just this, for instance, the Freemasons, not going to pick on them, but just making an example there. These are fraternal orders, and these people consider themselves to be magicians, ceremonial magicians. Well, yes, they do. Okay, I'm one of these people. I am a member of a quote-unquote secret society. Okay. Oh, I just let the secret out. Damn it. So, yeah. So anyway, they don't call it worship, because there is no God where I am. They have all these, statements and stuff. The grand architect, you can't call it God. But the deity that they honor, let's not say the God that they worship, but the deity that they honor has a name. This deity is real, exists in reality, maybe not 3D reality, but some type of interdimensional existence. And the name of this entity is, drum roll please, Eal-de-Boath. Eal-de-Boath. You gotta say it all fancy. Eal-de-Boath. Eal-de-Boath has another name. Believe it or not, he probably has more than one, but he has another name that you may have heard before. You may have heard this name before if you went to Sunday school or church or Christian religion in the United States or United Kingdom or Australia or Canada or any of these English-speaking countries, or probably even Germanic countries, and the name is, and there's more than one, but one I think everyone could be familiar with is Jehovah. Wait. Jehovah? What the hell are you talking about? That's God's name. Oh, you're talking about those Satanists. They worship Satan. No, actually they don't. I really hate to rain on your parade, but I've got some information, folks. Satanists and Christians of all types, fundamental Christians, regular Christians, Christians on the left, Christians on the right, let's just say Christians, even worship the same deity. What? What the fuck are you talking? Oh, you've finally gone cuckoo for cocoa nuts. Okay, yes, in case you misunderstood that or you thought you didn't hear it correctly, let me repeat that. Let me repeat that for those of you who did not know this. Satanists and Christians worship the same deity. I'm going to say it one more time. Christians and Satanists worship the same deity. Okay? You want to know who the goddamn devil is? It's fucking God. Jesus Christ, the demiurge. I mean, come on, folks. This is occult 101, you know. If you didn't know that, then, you know, I'm really making a big revelation to you right now. Oh gosh, I just think I lost about, 100 subscribers just now. Oh gosh. No, just kidding. I don't think I lost 100 subscribers. Everyone who, I'm not going to say everyone, but I would assume that most people that subscribe to You Don't Know, a Basis Texas production, are probably pretty open-minded. And there may be a few that kind of believe some of this shit, kind of don't. And there may be even a few people that maybe do or don't believe any or all of it, but just like to be entertained. And and for some reason they think I'm either just a fucking idiot or just brilliant or somewhere in between, and they just think I'm funny. I mean, I try to be. I don't know, I'll let you know that right now. I'm not really a very funny guy. I'm just not. I mean, I wish I was, but I'm just not. But yes, it's true. Believe it or not, there are some people that think that I'm absolutely fucking hilarious, and it was kind of not really a downer at first. It was, I'm not even going to say a shock, but some people that I really cared about their opinion and everything. Oh, they love my show. They love my show, and I was like, oh. You're so funny. You're so hilarious. These people that I respect, watch my show because I'm funny. Okay? What about... Gee, thanks. I mean, I hope that's not a backhanded compliment. Oh my God. But yeah, it's a lot to wrap your mind around, and it's a known fact that this show that you're listening to right now is not for idiots. It's not a dumb show. If you're listening to these words right now, you're above average intelligence. Period. There's not even, averaged intelligence people listen to this show. It's for smarty pants, okay? I mean, yeah, we like to get sexy sometimes. Not everybody, not every human being I come into contact with is they're usually either super smart or super sexy. I mean, I do have standards, and so there you have it. And just the cat's out of the bag, so to speak. The cat is out of the motherfucking bag. So anyway, getting back to the original point that I was trying to make about half an hour ago. You are the arbiter for your own reality. It's up to you to determine which way is up, which way is down, what is heaven, what is hell, and you don't have to make decisions on all these things. Or are you sick? The doctor can tell you you're sick. You can have symptoms that you're sick, but ultimately, I think it's your choice in a way. Now, let me qualify that statement. I'm not sitting there saying, your brother or sister has cancer and they're because they wanted to have cancer. I'm not saying that. But there is a very obscured fact, obfuscated fact, that I don't understand wholly, and I don't know anyone who does, and it's probably not a new idea to you because you've probably heard this idea yourself, and it's what I think may be the ultimate top secret. I mean, we're talking above top secret. In other words, the royal secret. However you want to put it. I'm just talking about secret. Okay, they don't want people to know this shit, and that is a human being in this dimension that we're in is essentially an entity in the physical world. We are spirits in the material world, just like Sting said of the Police. And okay, but that's not the whole story. Yes, we are spirits in the material world, but we're getting some pretty serious indications that at least on a limited basis, or maybe on an unlimited basis, I really just don't know, the human being is somehow able to manifest reality. In other words, reality is being woven together out of the consciousness and out of the imagination. Yes, I said imagination of the human being. This is the primary reason for mind control. If they can get everyone to think the same thing, if they can get everyone to repeat the same lie, they are using us to build their reality. And who am I talking when I say them? Yes, I am talking about human beings, but human beings who have been possessed, even more than your average human being is possessed by the Ahrimanic doppelgangers. I did mention that there are two Ahrimanic doppelgangers. They come in two flavors. You have your Luciferic doppelganger, and you have your Ahrimanic doppelganger. Let me break it down very briefly for you. Lucifer is in charge of electricity. Ahriman is in charge of electromagnetism. Literally in charge of these forces. Anything that is electric, like your electric blender or your, vibrator or dildo, whatever you want to call it, it's not satanic, it's Luciferic because it's electric. Now, actually, if it's a vibrator, it has a little motor in it, so that is also satanic. It's satanic and Luciferic because Lucifer is in charge of the electric part, and Ahriman, aka Satan, is in charge of the electromagnetic part. So, don't you just hate Lucifer and don't you just hate Satan? Don't answer that too quickly. No. Because once again, you must listen to the wisdom and listen to the words of Rudolf Steiner, who, well, he is a Christian, but I try to give him a break anyway. Steiner says that you must imagine Lucifer and Ahriman as being on two ends of like a seesaw, so to speak, a balance, and in the center, your balancing force, your fulcrum, so to speak, is the Christos. In this case, aka Jesus Christ. Okay, I said it. Okay, I'm not a Christian. Listen, if somebody says that they're not a Christian, you can just almost bet $100 right there. It's because they don't believe. They don't believe in Jesus, or they don't believe in God, and so they're not a Christian. Let me tell you, don't try to put me in that category. I am a believer. I never said I didn't believe. I never said I didn't believe in quote-unquote God. And there may have been a time in my life when I was doubtful, maybe agnostic or something like that, before I became Gnostic with a G. But yes, I believe in God, that's for sure. Listen. Okay, let me back up once again. Okay, God is not God, okay? It's so hard to explain these things, the layering in of the mind control. I guess the Christian mind control is so great. And let me, in case, I don't want to really piss anybody off too bad, but in case you didn't know, Christianity is controlled by and was actually probably created by the Illuminati. Okay, the Illuminati owns Christianity, lock, stock, and motherfucking barrel. Okay, you can start stoning me to death now. You can cast the first stone. You know, imagine where my mind goes when I'm reading some, you know, worthless, meaningless post about somebody who's battling the Illuminati or something like that, or they're going to send all the Illuminati to hell with the power of Jesus Christ. Motherfucker, Jesus Christ came, you know, courtesy of the Illuminati, or if he didn't, he was taken over soon after he faked his death on the cross, or substituted somebody else and had them crucified. Well, however that went down, you know, if that stuff even happened, you know, I don't know. But Steiner says it does, and Steiner says it did, and you know, Steiner says the most important thing about Christianity is the mystery of Golgotha, which is the shedding of Christ's blood on the Mount of Skulls, as the Roman soldiers gambled for his crown of thorns and his robe, casting dice at the foot of our Savior, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, you know, to gambling for his clothes, we're told, you know. And one of them, you know, according to myth, was Longinus, however you pronounce his Roman fucking name, who had the spear of destiny. He is the one who supposedly, you know, speared Christ while he was on the cross. I'm pretty sure that's in the Bible. One of the, you know, we don't know if he did it to make fun of Jesus or whether he did it out of mercy, but the narrative that we're given is one of the soldiers speared Christ while he was suffering on the cross. And of course, you know, we can only imagine what that felt like, because, you know, I'm sure it was some big, like, a revelatory thing, you know, where, I mean, I don't think he, like, lived forever, but it, like, imbued him with all these, like, supernatural powers. I'm not saying good, bad, or, you know, maybe in between. I just don't know. Or that maybe I've been watching too many, you know, Roman Catholic exorcist movies or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, you know, we all know about the spear of Longinus. Whoever controls the spear of Longinus or possesses the spear of Longinus controls the world. You know, so Hitler's always, he had to have the spear of Longinus. Somebody had the spear. Now, who has to have the spear of Longinus? Duh, me, right? How the hell am I going to be a world leader and be the dictator of the world unless I have the spear of Longinus? So, if you know its whereabouts, please get with me offline or send an email to ayinthropos@gmail.com and reveal the location of the spear of Longinus so I can send my mutinous camera crew down to collect it. Either that or just go get it my own damn self. Or if you want something done right, do it yourself. And that way I can take over the world. And everything will be much nicer than I assure you. I give you my greatest assurances of that. I'll be a nice guy. Just hand over all power and control to me. And one out of every 10,000 women. That should be enough to satisfy my needs. Woohoo! Okay, y'all, I'm really not some crazy dictator. So just get that out of your head. We're talking about some serious shit here. It is the 4th of July. We are celebrating the 4th of July, the American Independence Day, etc., etc. And so we celebrate it as we do on the 4th of July. Well, you know, I hope that wherever you are on this July 4th, you're able to purchase and ignite firecrackers, because you're not able to do that everywhere. And several years ago, there was some type of burn ban in effect, and I think it was because everything was really dry, and so the people were not allowed to pop their firecrackers. So that's just how it went. I have noticed the celebrants popping their firecrackers today on July 3rd. That's a no-no. You're not. Oh, wait. Today's. Oh, no. Today's the 4th, right? But it was yesterday that the bad people were popping their firecrackers just a few hours ago, after, before midnight, on the 3rd of July, of all things. If that's not revolutionary, I just don't know what is. But at least here in Texas, or at least, in parts of Texas that I've been through, yesterday on the 3rd, it looks like they are going to be allowing fireworks, at least in certain areas, to be popped by amateur firework enthusiasts. So I'm going to recommend you go to your local fireworks stand, buy a bundle of fireworks for you and your kids. While you're there, you can probably pick up maybe a couple tabs of acid, some LSD 25, and to really enhance your 4th of July celebratory ritual. Ooh. Oh, now let me tell you, Gunter doesn't like fireworks. I know that's not a very romantic notion, but no, Gunter hates fireworks. I mean, he hates them. You really gotta get a hold of his ass and put him inside a vehicle or something like that. He will run. He'll fucking run trying to get away from the fireworks. He hates fireworks. I don't hate fireworks. I'm not a firework bug, but anyway. Enough about fireworks. How much can you go on? Just on and on and on. Oh, let's ask Tim Refat what he thinks about fireworks. He's not very enthusiastic about most things American, so I'm sure he may have a dim view. Let me put it like that. He may have a dim view of fireworks. He seems to have a dim view of Americans in general. I hate to say that. Or maybe just the generalized Americans, your average birds. I mean, he won't hesitate to pitch to you as a customer. Yeah, he would definitely like to sell you some products. He sold me products. I have not been shown yet any reason to believe that Tim Refat is a con man, or that he's lying or cheating or stealing, or that he's selling people fake stuff. I was actually, I'm not concerned about that he's selling us booby trap stuff. I was, at first I was thinking, oh my gosh, I hope this isn't booby trap. But no, I'm someone who absolutely believes that these things are real, but I also absolutely believe what Tim Refat says, because I've also learned from, in a way you could say I've learned from personal experience, that most of your magical systems, quote unquote magic in the occult, are basically fucking worthless, because there's so many booby traps included, and they do everything to make sure that you don't get the power. And I don't give a fuck what secret society you're in. Do they have power? Do they do magic? Yes, but it's all on their agenda. It's not, no, don't touch. So, but Tim Refat, who really has an end for the Illuminati, really wants to, deliver a bad blow to them. He is on a mission to give, well, I wouldn't say give, it's actually sell magic to your average person who's a non-Illuminati member. And God bless him. I mean, hey, I'm one of the, no. Okay. What am I talking about? No, I am an Illuminati. You can just call me a rogue Illuminati member. Let's just call me that. I mean, I'm not going to to sit here and say I'm an Illuminati member without, you know, defining that a little bit, because otherwise when there's ever armed gangs going around the streets looking for any Illuminati members to lynch, then they would pick me up. Oh, there's that guy, he had that show with tens of thousands of viewers worldwide. It's called You Don't Know. It's a Basis, Texas production. Basis, Texas? What? No, certainly they were. Okay, anyway, enough of that. Yeah, you get the picture. Yeah, in case for some weird reason you haven't heard my narrative before, my reality, the things that have actually happened to me, I am someone who was born into the Illuminati in no uncertain terms. Absolutely was born into the Illuminati. And so I classify myself as someone who is on the bloodlines of the pharaonic dominators. Now, I've been saying this for years. I've known this for a long time. What I did not know, and what has been revealed to me just recently through being prompted to become involved in genealogical research, is the jaw-dropping information that has been checked, rechecked, fact-checked, double-checked. It's true because it's documented truth. It's not something I'm proud of, nor is it anything I'm ashamed of. It's simply a fact. I personally am related to 41 United States presidents. Somebody asked me, well, how many have there been? I don't know. Look it up yourself on Google. I mean, I guess 56 or something. I don't know how many. Anyway, I'm related to 41 U.S. presidents and 36 presidential wives. Okay? I'm related to President Biden. I'm related to Donald Trump. I'm related, I can't remember if I'm related to, oh, I don't even want to say that. Okay, yeah, I was going to mention someone else, but listen, I'm related to Kennedy, okay? What I did not know, I mean, it makes perfect sense now that I know it, but I didn't know this when I first got into genealogy and started, you know, looking up all these wonderful facts. You can be related to somebody, say like, you know, the Queen of Sheba or whatever, you know, or, you know, Neil deGrasse Tyson. You know, you can be related to someone, but you can, which is interesting. That's why people get into genealogy. But you can also be related to someone more than once. Okay, that never crossed my mind. So, in other words, when you're related to someone, what does that mean? What does that look like to be related to someone? Well, that is a good question with a simple answer, and I'm glad you asked. I really am glad you asked. When you're related to someone, it simply means that you have a common ancestor. That's it. Common ancestor. If you're related to someone, you have a common ancestor. And so, occasionally, you'll be related to someone in more than one way. In other words, you'll have more than one common ancestor. And it is unusual to be related to someone in more than one way, but it is, if someone is related to someone else in more than one way, you know, it would be unusual to have two or maybe three, you know, relations to this person, you know, common ancestors, 2 or 3 common ancestors with one person. That's actually very unusual. Okay, brace yourself for these facts. I'm related to Abraham Lincoln 22 times. I'm related to George Washington 15 times. I'm related to John F. Kennedy 11 times. I'm related to Gerald Ford, ex-governor Gerald Ford. I'm related to Gerald Ford 67 times. Did you get that? 67 times. Okay. I'm related to Nixon. I can't remember how many times I'm related to Nixon's, 4 or 5 or something like that. Are you starting to get this? These are mind-blowing facts, okay? I'm also a direct descendant of Margaret Tudor. I'm a direct descendant of her son, James V, Regent of England. And if you go back even further in time, I am a direct descendant of William the Conqueror. This is a fact. William the Conqueror is my 30th great-grandfather. I'm a direct descendant of William the Conqueror. And I am also a direct descendant of Charlemagne. I can't say his whole name because Charlemagne has like 10 or 11 different names. They're all run together. I mean, you can't, you know, all these different languages and stuff. Yes, I'm a direct descendant of Charlemagne, the man, the one and only Charlemagne. This is where we get the word Charles from, Charlie. You know, Charlemagne is spelled CH. Charlemagne is the original world for Charles is like an abbreviation somewhat of Charlemagne. Anyway, it's the same name essentially. So, yeah, Charlemagne is my 38th great-grandfather. Okay, I am related to every Scottish royal family, I think, except one, the Sinclairs, one of your most prominent ones. I'm related, okay, let's talk Mormons. I'm related to Joseph Smith. I'm related to Brigham Young, okay? I'm also related to every Mormon prophet who's ever lived, and about half of their, they're not called, what are they called? Not acolytes, but they're called apostles. An apostle, the prophet is chosen from a group of apostles, something like that. I don't know how it works. I just learned these things. Folks, this is documented facts. I've given, my real name, Durward King Mahon, on several shows. I've been on some big time shows recently, including Miles Johnston, the Basis Project. Miles Johnson, who's basically my mentor helped me, get my foot in the door in the truther community. And also, I was on Randy Moggin's show, Off Planet Radio. They wanted to interview me about these facts, and I sent them all the stuff, all the documentation up front ahead of time, and they had their people check this shit, and lo and behold, yeah. Listen, I had a hard time believing this shit when I first found out. I was like, this can't be true. I mean, some of it's just so bizarre. Okay, I'm related to Sharon Tate, but I'm also related to Charles Manson. Okay, put that in your pipe and smoke it. I'm related to Sharon Tate and Charles Manson. Now, are they related to one another? I don't know. I have actually not looked. That's a good question, and I'm glad I asked, but I actually have not looked that up. I am related to Quanah Parker, the famed Comanche Indian chief, and I'm also related to Bonnie Parker of the Clyde Barrow Gang. Bonnie and Clyde. Get it? They're both Parkers. Quanah Parker, Bonnie Parker. Are they related? Yes. Bonnie Parker is related to Quanah Parker. So it's just the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in my life. As I told you, I am in the Illuminati. I have an Illuminati handler. She thinks that I think that she's my handler. She says she doesn't believe it. Actually, I think she's lying. I think she knows it. But I really can't be sure about that. But check this out. And she's been my handler for years. I've known this for years. I've been trying to save her, but I've given up on that now. I've been told by 2 different psychics. One psychic told me that her dead father was trying to work with me to save her from the Illuminati. Another psychic told me that her dead grandfather was working with me to try to save her from the Illuminati. And let me tell you, the mission was aborted, because I cannot save the dear child from the Illuminati, and she is one of the meanest, cruelest people you've ever met in your life, except you probably wouldn't know it because she'll have you convinced in no time that she's an absolute saint and can do no wrong. But let me tell you, she's a tyrant and a terrorist and a fucking cunt and a whore and, well, she's a sex slave for the Illuminati, okay? I mean, you got it. At least I can kind of understand, you know, that can't be fun, right? I mean, sex slave for the Illuminati, you know, monarch asset, you know what I mean? Yeah, and she's under a triple bind. She has where many assets have one handler. She has 3. And one of her handlers is a very important programmer on the West Coast, whose name is John Catalina. John Catalina. I can't believe I just said that. Wow, I can't believe I just said that. I'm not going to edit that out. Wow. That's some... I wonder if there's going to be any repercussions for this. I really do, because I just gave out the name of a living top programmer in the Illuminati. I'm actually kind of shocked that I did that, and even more shocked that I'm sitting here telling you that I'm not going to edit that out. And you know what? I'm telling you the truth. I'm not going to edit that out. I'm not going to say his name again. You'll have to, you know, if you didn't catch it, then you didn't need to hear it anyway, and or you can rewind the tape or whatever, rewind the video. But yeah, I said it. There you go. I'm not going to name the other 2. I'll tell you that much. And I'm not going to name my handler. Okay? I'm just not, for all kinds of reasons. My health being one of the top ones. These people don't play, man. The Mariah conquering wind. What? What's the Mariah conquering wind? I never heard of the Mariah conquering wind. Listen, you call them the Illuminati. They don't call themselves that. And they have other names. A lot of it depends on which, you know, Illuminati is not one big happy family, okay, folks? It is a loose association of different organizations, covens, gangs, whatever you want to call it. Whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's a very sublime and hard to understand thing. And yes, they are up to no good. They're literally up to no good. I refute my Illuminati, you know, affiliation. You know, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm ashamed about it. I'm not proud of it. I'm not ashamed of it. It is simply a fact. Okay? Just like the fact that I'm as hard as a motherfucking come. Fucking with a man like me is basically the same as committing suicide. I'm not a fighter, y'all. I'm not a fighter. I'm a fucking killer. Okay? And in this world, it's important to know the difference. So there you go. Come of some young guy. Yeah, don't fuck with me. You can say anything you want. Just don't put your hands on me. I ain't the one, player. I ain't the one. I don't care if you come at me with me alone or with all your friends, whatever, weapons. You know, don't fuck with this one right here. Let me tell you, if I had a superpower, like a superhero, it might lightly be defined as luck. Let me tell you, I survive. Okay, it's not really luck. It's, of course, there's no such thing as luck. It's not dumb luck. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I've talked about it before. Let's just call it luck. Let's just call it what it's not. You fuck with me and you're going down. Period. At the same time, I've got to follow rules. I can't just, you know, go looking for trouble or looking for danger. You know, life is dangerous enough. My life is dangerous enough as it is, especially without naming, you know, top Illuminati programmers. Shit, I can't believe I did that. Oh my God. This guy that I mentioned, he's one of the founders. He's not given credit for this. I don't know how that came about, but he is one of the actual founders, or one of the guys that came up with the Landmark Forum. I think that's a pretty popular thing. A lot of y'all, I'm sure a lot of y'all have heard of the Landmark Forum, but it's kind of a philosophy. It's not really like, it's not Scientology or anything like that. It's not a religion or anything like that. But it has been accused of being a cult. You know, not like one of Jared Leto's little cults, you know, where you know, take off all your clothes and, you know, yes, Jared Leto has a little gang of fucking, he has a cult. Absolutely, he has a cult. That's just one of the things that certain people who are down with conquering wind, they're, you know, that's what they do. Not all of them, but Jared Leto, yeah, fuck yeah, he's a cult leader, and he gets them naked and, you know, does all his mind control bullshit. And so, you know, it's not all glamorous Hollywood, you know, like you may have thought, or you didn't think, because we all know now that the terrible truth of the star whackers in Hollywood. You know, we heard about this from Randy Quaid, you know, the crazy guy Randy Quaid, brother of Dennis Quaid. They're both bona fide movie stars. As a matter of fact, don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but Dennis Quaid, the movie star, actually a bigger movie star than Randy Quaid by quite a bit, called my handler just a few months ago. He called my handler. Asked her out on a date. You know, apparently they've been friendly in the past, and she told him no. She refused, citing that she had no one to take care of her dogs. I don't know how true that is, but yeah, no. I was there when he called, and she's a star fucker, or ex-star fucker. I don't know that she fucks stars anymore, but you know, when she was, one of her boyfriends was Lance Armstrong. Whenever he quit seeing Sheryl Crow, she went to one of the Tour de France's and, you know, didn't hang out with him. You know, when you're riding a bicycle in the Tour de France, you don't get to talk to chicks. They keep you all, you know, sequestered and stuff, I guess. But yeah, and I'm not going to mention other celebrities that, you know, she's banged. Okay, she is in the Hollywood motion picture industry. That's all I'm going to say. I could get in trouble just for saying that, really. But you're not going to figure out, if you know me real well. I mean, then you maybe could figure it out. But, or, you know, some people know. They don't know. They know that, you know, I think, quote unquote, think, you know, listen, bitch is my fucking handler, okay? I think she may have been re-signed. I think I can't imagine that they'd have me going without a handler, but they're switching handlers on me or something. I don't know what the gig is. But yeah, I think she's not going to be assigned to me any longer. I think I'm not 100% sure about that. You don't know how this shit works. It's possible that she doesn't, you know, let me tell you, folks, jarring fact I learned after years of observation and also being an insider, you know, being involved from the inside. I don't know what this number is. I'm just going to kind of make up a random number, just an arguable number, or what do you call it? An arbitrary number, just for the sake of making this point. And I'm going to say somewhere around 40% of the members of the Illuminati do not believe in the existence of the Illuminati. What the fuck did he just say? Oh, this guy's really gone cuckoo for cocoa nuts. Now, I mean, what the fuck? That doesn't even make sense. Actually, it does. It makes perfect sense, but only if you understand MK Ultra mind control. Only if you understand trauma-based mind control. Because through the shattering of the personality into separate, discrete units, personalities or alternate personalities that hide behind one front personality. You can literally have a person going around doing missions having completely different personalities and they're not even aware of it because of the amnesiac barriers. This science, yes, science, there may be perverted sex elements to it, but it is a science, and this science is the glue that holds together the Illuminati. If it was not for trauma-based mind control, and now increasingly electronic-based mind control, where many of these things they can accomplish now, apparently or supposedly, without even taking possession of the quote-unquote victim or whatever, torturing them to almost to death, and at an early age to fracture the memories. They can now do a lot of this through waves, guided radio waves, X-rays, different types of waves, short wave, long wave, and also chemicals, waves and chemicals, targeted individuals, perpetrators. Okay? Targeted individuals, perpetrators, voice of God, non-lethal weapons, psychotronic weapons, psychotronic generators, generating crystals, Goetia. It goes on and on and on, folks. It goes on and on and on. In case you're new to the show, or this may be the first time you've watched or listened to the show, yes, I am a conspiracy theorist. I've been a conspiracy theorist since being a conspiracy theorist before it was cool to be a conspiracy theorist. Long before it was cool. I was actually a child conspiracy theorist. It's like, what kind of parents would let their children be a conspiracy, or encourage their children to be a conspiracy theorist? Listen, my parents did not encourage me to be a conspiracy theorist. I did that all on my own. And it's hard to account for that, hard to explain. Hey, why did I just, when I was about 12 or 13 years old, just decide I'm going to be, read every conspiracy book I get my hands on? I don't know. I mean, I know that a lot of people in the order, the secret society that I'm in, the Ordo Templi Orientis, or the OTO, a lot of people in the OTO have the same story, the same background that I had, and that is, they find themselves, 15 years old with a closet full of Crowley books that they don't understand, Aleister Crowley, and they're just, taking it upon themselves to learn all types of arcane information. And so, is it possible? Is it at all possible that I am a reborn, a reincarnated Templar Knight? I don't know, but I've asked myself that question. A Hospitaller, a Templar Knight, fighting to take possession of Jerusalem, essentially, and on the way learning some dastardly, secrets and perverted sex shit and homo shit, and create, inventing the banking system of the world, the check cashing system of the world, letters of credit for travelers trying to not get killed by bandits. Oh, there you have it. And I don't know. I'm not even romantically inclined to think this. I'm not like I'm Mr. Knights Templar or whatever. I'm not going to sit here and make blanket statements either, saying that they were all bad guys or all fags or whatever, and I just don't think that's true, but yeah, some of them were definitely bad. Some of them were definitely gay. And, they're doing some gay rituals and shit like that. Listen, folks, that's the royal secret, you know. Not what I was telling you earlier. The royal secret is at the top initiatory levels of all of these things, you know. The OTO, I'm sure, included, and all Western, you know, Hermetic fraternal orders, Scientology, all that shit, Freemasonry, all that shit. The closer to the top you get, the gayer it gets. Okay? Next, you know, you get to the top, you're sucking dick and taking it in the ass. I mean, that's just, hate to ruin the joyride for you. I mean, that's all the reason many people need to not become a 33rd degree Mason, you know. And is that, you know, written in stone? I don't know. But yeah, no, I think some of the top rituals are like gay rituals, you know what I mean? Some of them are definitely like binding or whatever, you know. There's, you know, ancient wood carvings and stuff like that of monks or whatever, basically Templar Knights, hanging by their balls from trees. I mean, imagine what kind of, you know, altered state that would put you. I mean, that's gotta hurt, huh? Hanging by your balls. Literally hanging by your balls from a tree, you know, bound up, having your heads tied behind your back and your legs tied together, and somehow they stretch those old balls, and you're hanging by your balls. I mean, I don't know if that's a saying or, you know, oh, they're hanging by their balls. No, that's a real thing. You know, there's wood carvings of this, and no, but listen, they can't tear my guts out or anything like that. That's not some deep, dark secret I learned at the lodge, okay? Yes, you take oaths. Yes, they can cut your tongue out, pull your guts out and all that shit if you tell their secrets. But only the secrets they've told you. If you figure it out on your own, no, they can't do shit. No. They didn't tell me that. I found out that shit on my own, so go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? Go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? Go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? Go fuck yourself. Go hang from by your balls from a tree, okay? Try that on facade. You want to be a patriot on the 4th of July? Well, just go to the nearest tree and just hang yourself by the balls. See if you like that, okay? Okay, Joikey, take that one on for size. Ah, Mr. Cable Hoodah. Yep. Okay, we're getting a little bit silly now. I've basically talked for an hour and 17 minutes. And I know in my heart that I've given much needed critical information concerning a variety of different topics. Not stuff that I believe in, stuff that's true. Okay, you can, if you know, you didn't have empirical science that proves this and proves that, or you didn't have religion, or you had a belief, you know, that this happened or that happened. There's something that supersedes both of those things, folks. Something I've learned on my own. There's a type of knowledge that supersedes programming, that supersedes being hypnotized and learning something, or being raped when you're a kid, you know, and learning things by rote or whatever, however it's learned. There's something that supersedes that, and there supersedes something that the science where you read it in a book, you know, somebody supposedly proved it, you know, whatever. Earth is a ball or whatever. Oblique spheroid, whatever the fuck it is, you know. Something like that. And that is a knowing. It's kind of like a hunch. It's not really a hunch exactly, but it's a knowing. You can know. The greatest way to know something for the human being is to have a knowing. And what does that look like? Where does that start off at? Well, we have this idea in the modern age. Oh, does this resonate with you? Does that resonate with you? Resonate. Okay. So if something resonates with you, does that mean that it's true? No. It just means you like the idea. Okay. But, you know, whereas not every rectangle is a square, but every square is a rectangle. Yes, if you do have a knowing, and you know something just through an inherent knowledge, an inherent knowing, then yes, of course it resonates with you. Right? Duh. So, you know, just kind of drawing some similarities and also some differences between those two concepts. The concept of something resonating with you, and then the concept of knowing. And one of my top psychic is the one who has revealed so many things to me. Recently, she revealed that this guy who was threatening to kill me, and who's a crazy man who supposedly shot at me, but he's just I stopped him from beating a 67-year-old woman, my other boss. He's no longer my boss. He was going around acting with impunity, getting in trouble with the cops and stuff, but not getting arrested. They would call us and we'd go pick him up. They'd give us the guns. They'd give us the drugs. They'd give us the drunk. They'd give us his vehicle. I'd get in the vehicle, drive it back to the ranch, and my other boss would take all the other shit. How often does that happen? Your drunk boss or any drunk person, extremely drunk, abusive, asshole person, gets a wild hair up their ass to steal guns, even though they don't need to, from somebody, and goes and tries to pawn them at some store in another town, drunker than shit, gets the cops called on them, and the cops call your other boss for some reason. Now I'm fixing to discuss this reason with you. I thought it was because, well, anyway, I'm not going to tell you. And says, do you want to come get this guy or what? And waits around with other cops with this guy in custody for 30 or 40 minutes while we drive to another town to get his ass. How often has that happened to you? How often have you heard of that happening? And then giving us all his guns. I mean, I thought cops took guns away. I didn't know they gave them to you. Loaded them up one by one and loaded them in my boss's truck, my female boss. Okay, and gave us the drugs. I mean, listen, you can't make this shit up. Cops giving you drugs, giving us guns, giving us the drunk. Didn't even give us a lecture. Sent us on our way with the criminal, the guns, and the drugs, and the stolen guns. How many times has that happened to you? Because it's happened to me twice. In the last 2 months, that's happened to me twice. The first time we went to another town, it was Brady, Texas, a little town of Brady, Texas, and it was so surreal. I told him, I told my boss that I'm getting out of the vehicle when they load the guns because I'm an ex-con. I'm not supposed to have guns. I'm not supposed to be around guns or be in possession of them. She told the cops how this shit was going to go down. She told them what to do. How many times have you seen that? An average citizen, well, there's nothing average about this. There's nothing average about this person or this situation, but somebody telling the cops what they're going to be doing. That's a little bit bizarre, don't you think? So anyway, that's what happened. That's the way it went down. It's a true story. She told the cops what they were going to do, and they did it. And while this was happening, there was a cloud overhead, just the darkest cloud you can imagine. And the whole sky was clear, except there was a big dark cloud right straight above us. And so, I mean, that was weird. That was definitely weird. And then the same thing happened less than a week later. The cops had us come. He stole basically a trailer full of firewood, my firewood, and went to town, the Mason, trying to give away my firewood because he was mad at me. And also went to the police station to make up some bullshit about me. Lies. He made up lies about this other boss. And he was drunker than shit. So guess what? He got apprehended. I'm not going to say arrested because he didn't go to jail. And we came and got him again. Got him. How many times has that happened to you? How many times has that happened to someone you know? How many times have you even heard of that happening? I mean, that's fucking bizarre. Okay, that's the kind of shit that happens with the Illuminati type stuff. And I'm not saying he's in the Illuminati. I'm not saying that he's not. But my psychic told me, my psychic from the UK told me that this man absolutely wants to kill me, wanted to kill me, wants to kill me. He's very heavily demonically possessed. But furthermore, and I'd never heard of this concept before. This could be it was a new one for me just a month ago. So it'll probably be a new one for you. This man was and still is under demonic possession. Not demonic possession. I knew, yes, he's under demonic possession for sure. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. I knew that like 6 months ago. I was even saying that, this guy's under demonic possession. But what I did not know, a concept that I was not familiar with, is that he was and is still under demonic, the other DP, no, not double penetration, demonic protection. This idiot is under demonic protection. He is doing the bidding of a demon, a high-ranking demon, and he is being protected from anything. He can operate with impunity, apparently, and just do whatever the fuck he wants, and he's not going to go to jail for it. I mean, it's bizarre. This is my life. We're talking about a month ago. I was involved in an attempted capital murder and a aggravated assault of an elderly person. No, I did not commit these crimes. I basically prevented them, or at least the aggravated assault. I mean, he was beating a 67-year-old woman in the back of the head with his closed fists. I'm as hard as they come. Through whatever reasons, I've had basically, except for my childhood, a lifetime of extreme violence. That's the reason I'm as hard as they come, because I've taken a lot of ass whoopings. I've whooped a lot of asses, okay? That's how it goes. But until this happened and I interceded and prevented her from being beaten, it dawned on me, oh my God, I've actually, through all I've seen in all my years in this world, I've never actually personally witnessed a woman being beaten. Here I am, XX amount, I'm not going to say how old I am, but all the violence, and I don't even talk about the shit I've been through. You don't want to know. You don't know. You don't want to know. I don't need to know the shit I've been through, okay? Let's just call it a lifetime of extreme violence, okay? And all that, and I'd actually never seen a woman being, seriously getting her ass whooped. Yeah, I mean, I've seen some arguments and name calling and pushing and shoving and shit like that, but I've never just seen a woman being beaten, much less a handicapped 67-year-old woman. Never had witnessed that before. But I did, not that I wanted to, but I did, about a month ago, and I stopped it. Some people think I should have whooped his ass. Well, no, man. A 12-year-old could whip this dude's ass. He's in such bad health. I mean, he can barely stand up. He wasn't no threat to me, other than the fact that he supposedly fired 3 shots at me before this happened. I didn't see the shots or hear them or anything like that, but supposedly he fired 3 shots at me. So, there you have it. That's what happened. It's the honest to God truth. And so, no, the attempted murder obviously was of me, supposedly. Like I say, he did go to jail. He didn't go to jail for attempted murder because I didn't see him fire a weapon at me or hear it. I was in my truck, but he fired 3 shots. I guarantee you that. She didn't go out on the porch when it happened, so she didn't actually see where he was pointing the gun, but he said, listen, he didn't think I was going to be there. So he went to do his fucking dirty work. And he went over to her house. He lives next door in the ranch right next door. And he broke in, and then she came home and was wondering, he had already done, he did $15,000 worth of damage to her home, still being repaired. And I don't know if he started beating her then or what, but he said that he was out on the front porch and he saw these lights coming through the forest, through the woods. He said, "Who's that?" And she said, "It's King." He said, "That motherfucker, I'm gonna kill him." And he went and grabbed one of her guns, high-powered rifle. Fucking went back out there on the porch. I don't know if she was too scared to go out there or try to stop him or what, or she, I'm sure I know she was scared. She said he fired off 3 rounds. This guy's a sharpshooter, man. He's an expert shot, but of course he was drunk off his motherfucking ass. Yeah, it's possible he just pointed the gun up in the air and shot 3 times. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't see the shots. I didn't hear them. But yeah, a man said he was going to kill me, and then a weapon went off 3 times. Okay? That's pretty fucking serious. That is pretty goddamn serious. And so that happened to me about a month ago. So, my life ain't just some kind of cakewalk or something like that, especially with all this goddamn demonic shit and Illuminati shit and everything like that. But let me tell you, here's another concept I learned from my psychic. She's one of the strongest, in my opinion. She's one of the strongest psychics in the world. Her abilities are amazing. I cannot tell you her name. And she's told me, and this is not the first time she's witnessed this high-ranking demonic entity, whatever you want to call it, which was convincing him or whatever, however it works. He does hear its voice. Commanding him to kill me. Once I became a part of the equation and was there on this scene, it switched sides and came to my side. I had never heard anything like that in my life. That is the nature of some of these demons. They want to roll with the winner. They want to roll with who has got the most juice, who's the most powerful. So he just fucking bitch ass betrayed my former friend, who he is in possession of, lock, stock, and barrel, and jumped over to my side and made me the winner somehow. Or maybe I was gonna be the winner anyway, and he wanted to be on the winning side. I don't know. Listen, folks, I don't claim to understand how this shit works. When I heard that, I was like, what in the fuck are you talking about? And this is in the same conversation where I found out that he was under demonic protection. So there you go. I mean, god dang, I've been a demonologist for fucking lifetime, basically, and those are 2 concepts I've never even heard of. I mean, the first one kind of makes sense. Yeah, you're demonic possession, and they want to use you for something. Obviously, they're going to control you, but I've never really heard that concept of demonic possession. Protection. And I damn sure have never heard of the demons are little fucking treasonous bitches, and they'll change side. They want to be on the winning side. So there you have it, and there you go. We're right now at 1 hour and 33 minutes, so just a little bit of an extended talk here. Chock full of information. This is going to go on my series of videos. It's concerning medicinal, cures and things of that nature. We did, we discussed that a little bit. But this is kind of a new series I'm doing of talks. So I'm really letting it flow right now. The information. I'm really putting a lot of the information out there for you, the viewer. And so there you go, you know, there you have it. This is Ayin Thropos reporting for reporting for You Don't Know. You don't know, huh? So don't act like you do. A Basis, Texas production. We're here in Sweetwater, Texas on the 4th of July. Very foggy morning. Very foggy morning. Fog all over the place. And there you have it. We're signing out. Peace out. Good luck. Hope everything, you know, be safe while you're popping those firecrackers. Watch the kids. Don't let them get run over by a car or anything crazy like that. Drink all you want. Smoke all you want. Do as much dope as you want. You know, who am I to tell you otherwise? You know, you do what you do, man. That's it. That's it. So, okay. Y'all have a good rest of your day, and oh, say, can you see my